All right, WrestleMania is coming up.
Non-apologetic news, not what you're used to. Non-apologetic news, telling you the truth. Non-apologetic news, saying what they're scared to. Non-apologetic news, non-apologetic news.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Non-Apologetic News. This week we're talking Netflix cracking down on password sharing, WrestleMania, and of course we're going to talk about ELDEN RING. All this and more on today's episode of Non-Apologetic News. Netflix is fighting to stop you from sharing your password. Might I say you look handsome today.
Thank you.
Netflix announced Wednesday it plans to start cracking down on password sharing among watchers, and customers are not happy about it. So basically, they have 220 million subscribers right now, and every one of those people is letting like another one or two people use their passwords. And what they say is, as long as it's inside your house, your same IP address, they don't care at all. But that's not what's happening, obviously. So your Netflix service is like $10-12 a month, isn't it? Isn't that about what Netflix is?
I piggyback off someone else.
There you go. Okay, so let's say it's $12 a month. What they're going to do is they're going to, for an extra $3, like I could have Netflix and give you the password, and then I could legally have it on two separate IP addresses, and you could let multiple people in your household use it, right? For an extra $3. So they're trying this in smaller countries now, Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. So like I say, it'll be $3 a month. So Twitter is outraged.
No.
They say Netflix will lose a lot of customers if they do this password sharing crackdown. But of course, there's no customers here because the people they lose are the people who are getting it for free anyways. Someone says, how do you expect families to handle password sharing in the case of divorces? Their children are college students away from home. You buy another subscription. That's how you're supposed to handle it, right?
Is Netflix that important?
Right. Apparently it is because, you can't be a parent. You just throw the kid in front of the Netflix. And
comes up in the divorce hearings. Like, what, I get the Netflix, bitch.
What are we supposed to do with this? So I see both sides of it. So we have a business who is losing a lot of money. And they say in this article that because of the money they're losing, they can't invest into as many new shows as they want, which is really just translation for they could make billions of dollars more. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a company, that's what they're there for. And then the people are mad because they've always gotten something for free, so they now feel entitled to that exact thing and think that they should just have it, period, forever, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't quite agree with that, and I'm actually looking forward to the public outrage, all these entitled Karens, But you also need to remember what your time's worth. So if you bitch on Facebook for like 2 hours, let's say, or Twitter, or Instagram, whatever you're on, you've already paid for another subscription with your time that you've invested to this fake outrage. We have this mob mentality where we point the finger and you're in the wrong and I'm in the right. But I mean, I want it for free too, but technically you're stealing it. That is what's happening. So I do want to see what happens, but the closest thing I could think of is this is like if you send your cousin to the store to steal a monster for you, right? He does that every single week, so you get a free monster. Well, the store says we're tired of losing all this valuable monster money, so we're installing cameras, and then you get mad at the store.
Right.
That's exactly what this is. And it's kind of nonsense, but you can always get around it. I mean, like if you got a VPN, give you a fake IP address, I give you the password to my VPN, we use the same IP address, and then Netflix is none the wiser, but no one's going to put in that effort. They're going to moan online. They're going to cause all this shenanigans because they don't want to pay for TV.
That seems like a lot of work to save $10.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely bananas. But like I say, I do look forward to the outrage. And yes, in case you are wondering, I am picking back off of somebody else's password as well.
And we are outraged.
We will not stand for this. I can't remember the last time I turned Netflix on, man.
I hardly watch it either. All right.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Okay. Cam girl was paid $20,000 to play Elden Ring with a gamer for 40 hours straight. The Souls game is beautiful with the most interesting lore and designs we've seen to date with an incredibly high difficulty. On top of that, the game's experience is heightened when playing with friends. However, not everyone has friends who have the time and energy to sink into a difficult game like Elden Ring. So, 31-year-old Chris, who hails from New Jersey, decided to take matters into his own hands and hired a cam girl for $20,000 to play the game with him for 40 hours straight.
What a fucking bozo.
According to The Sun, Chris found Charlie through a website called CamSoda. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I've heard of it.
Where they hit it off amazingly well from the get-go. The adult model shared that the requests like these were pretty common since the beginning of the pandemic, as many were looking for companionship during these times. Rather than just being a cam girl who performs for, say, 7 minutes, that's all I need. I've accompanied
More of a 3.5 myself, but
I've accompanied clients for extended periods of time while they game, prepare dinner, eat dinner, etc. It's like a long-form camming, she said. So how exactly did the campaign go for both of them? Well, it was nice to have Charlie alongside me as I traveled the lands between, Chris told The Sun.
okay. So first off, she's going to be awful at the game. Let's just get that out of the way. And this isn't a game where you want to carry dead weight.
No.
And I don't even remember what is he just like masturbating while he's playing the game?
I'd say,
He's
I don't
like,
know. Is she playing nude? Like,
we need to take a $5 real quick. But there is no pause in this game.
No,
so
there is not unless you're resting at the bonfire.
$20,000. Think about how much you could throw that out the window and it would be a better use of $20K. You could just give it away to a stranger. Well, I mean, that's essentially what he did. Some of these cam girls, like especially these OnlyFans girls, they're making like $1 million a year for like showing their feet.
I know. I wish I could sell pictures of my butthole for $5 a pop.
Well, I'll be your first customer. I'll tell you that. Now, on the subject of Elden Ring, we've had a little bit since we talked about it last. You've made it further. Last time we played together, you were at Godric. You had just gotten your first great rune on it.
Yep.
Have you continued any further into that?
Yeah, I've explored quite a bit of the map. I haven't really run into another major boss like him. I've just been really just exploring and fucking leveling up.
Have you summoned in anyone else other than me?
Yeah, a few times.
Are you still having trouble with the connectivity issues?
I am. I even got one of those extenders to increase
the
connection,
Wi-Fi?
and I got like full connectivity on my PlayStation. I'm still having trouble getting anybody.
So you're like hitting the summon sign and then saying unable
they're not
to.
even popping up.
You're still having that issue.
Yeah, I say I check, make sure I ain't got the password on.
See, when me and him are talking, off camera, I keep telling him I'm at the end of the game, right? So I think one area is the end of the game. It wasn't. I think the next area is the end of the game. It wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I'm at the end of the game now. I got stuck at this boss. I was talking to people in the comments on the Elden Ring video about it. He's called Malekith, the Black Blade or something like that. In his first form, he's just a tank, and I'm good with that. I can shield up and get him. His second form is this super quick magic guy that kills you in like one hit. So you have to have like a flawless game. So I was like, all right, I'm going to summon someone in. I am sick of this. And then every time I'd get to the second phase, the summon would die immediately, which is frustrating. Don't lay down your summon sign if you're not good at that boss, because that's all I've been doing is helping people with bosses, but there's a few bosses I don't go to because I wasn't very good at them and I barely made it through anyways. So eventually I just sit down and I was like, this game is not going to beat me. And I wound up grinding through it and getting through it. But still, I still haven't completed the game. And I'm over 3 weeks in at this point. I have massed a large amount of hours into this game. I am pretty much an Elden Ring expert. Does it say how far this gentleman made it with the young lady into the game?
So they were able to beat the game in only 40 hours, which I guess is pretty impressive.
How does that happen? I bet you, though, I've seen speedrunners. It's basically where you don't do any other stuff and you just complete like the half dozen main bosses.
Yeah, I saw something like, I didn't read into it, I should have, because it sounds a little far-fetched, but I don't know, maybe they cheated or somehow, but managed to complete the game in like 47 minutes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it would take that long to even run to the bosses. She actually must have done at least a decent job because he would have at 40 hours, unless, like you say, apparently you can go on eBay and buy like 1 million runes and stuff. So unless they're doing something like that, they were at a pretty low level. So shout out to this cam girl. I might even have to throw her a couple of bucks to help. Oh, Jesus.
I play with her Elden Ring.
Oh, wow. Wow, she's absolutely gorgeous. I love girls with like horror tattoos, you know? I mean, they're nonsense to deal with, but they're great for the intimate times. She's got pointy ears, like she looks like she's from like Lord of the Rings or something, or Elden Ring. All right, well, moving on. Last Saturday, there was a fire in Osage, Oklahoma. Osage, Oklahoma, I don't know. There's so many Osages in our area. Results in felony charges. They received the initial call, the fire marshals, around 12:30 p.m. to a structure fire. They show up, find 2 vehicles and 2 individuals jumping and waving them down. When asked what happened, the 2 individuals tell the deputy they were hired to clean an old marijuana grow so new owners could begin using it. They told the deputy they were pulling out the old marijuana plants, that they were piling it outside in a large pile they were cleaning. One of the property owners allegedly used a lighter to light the pile of weed. So the fire spread quickly, winded up setting the trailers on fire. When they really pushed the guy, like, how'd this really happen? He goes, no, I was smoking a cigarette, and I threw it down, and that's what caused the fire. So they start hammering the guy with questions more, and all of a sudden he goes, I don't understand English. This is like 45 minutes into the questioning. So they, of course, slap the cuffs on him. Bippity boppity boop. But this leaves me with a bunch of questions. First off, how high were these people? You know, they were just, you know, standing in front of what could be a building-sized fire of herb. You know, even if it's just plants, I mean, you are around the smoke. Also, if a new owner just took ownership and they're going to do a grow up, why would they not want like the lights, the soil, the pots, even the tables, you know, just something, and we'll say, okay, we'll throw away this, but we'll keep this. So that makes
the old plants.
Yeah. That makes me think, first off, they're looking into whether these people even had permission to be there. So were they trying to rob them and stuff went wrong, you know? Or maybe they were like taking out the competition. Like they have their own grow op like 3 miles down the road. But either way, they literally did a bonfire of herb. And I find that absolutely ridiculous. And it leaves me asking the question,
What's this brother smoking over here?
So I'm going to keep tabs on this story. And all the children out there, I want you to remember that if you start a fire, it can spread. And if you start a fire of weed plants, it can get you high.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
All right, WrestleMania is coming up. WWE's been kind of up and down, whatnot, but this one actually seems like it's going to be a decent show. Oh my! Yeah. So we got Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, title versus title. Johnny Knoxville will be competing in a match.
He looks rough. Have you seen him lately? Yeah. He's got the white hair and looking insane.
Yeah, I've kind of enjoyed how they've built him up for this match. Usually some celebrities come in and it's just a shit job, but the guy he's facing actually showed up to the premiere of the new Jackass movie and started shit.
Oh, he's actually wrestling. Yeah, he's just not being, okay.
Yeah, he's got a match.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I heard him talking on Stern a while back in promotion for the Jackass movie. And he was talking about one of the stunts he did for that movie where he runs a theme park or whatever. He creates that theme park.
Action Point, I think
yeah, it was some sort of a stunt. I don't remember what it was, but essentially it left him to where he had to have a catheter for like 3 years, and it didn't stay in all the time. So like multiple times a day, he would have to shove that tube through his pee hole into his urethra, drain himself out, and that went on for years. Yeah. But apparently it's that and like 100 other injuries, which is strange because it made him a multimillionaire, but it's also going to make him die early.
Right.
So
I have a broken dick.
Yeah. He says apparently it works. I mean, it gets hard. He does smacks it around his wife, I guess. When is WrestleMania? When's this all go down?
April 2nd and April 3rd. It is 2 nights.
Oh, wow. Has they ever done that before? 2 nights?
The past couple of years, I started doing it. It started during the pandemic when they didn't have live crowds or anything. And I guess it just stuck, and now that's what they're doing.
And then, of course, in the news, Razor Ramon.
Yes.
You know, he died.
Passed away.
He had a big fall from grace. You know, he was like doing wrestling with like JCW and stuff.
Yeah.
And I seen the Hulkster at his bar that he owns talking, "We lost a good brother last night, brother. Say all the brothers enjoy the chicken fingers." And yeah, it was crazy. What else I got going on for it?
Bunch of matches. Like I said, it takes part 2 nights. But what I'm pumped about is finally, after 30 years greatness with the company, The Undertaker will finally be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Drop down, snap. Ah!
Yes.
He's a cool story. I watched his 3 or 4 part documentary they put out. I think it was actually WWE who put it out on their little streaming
Last
service.
Ride.
Yeah, that was actually real good. I really enjoyed that. He's a hell of a competitor. Is he still involved in some aspect in the company?
He is. I think he's got like a lifetime contract. He doesn't compete anymore, but you know,
Gets paid to
behind
show
the
up
scenes,
once or twice. Yeah.
runs the locker room. Like anybody needs advice, like he's the first one to go to. And
So are we going to have any surprises with this? Are we going to have Stone Cold run out? And
actually, Stone Cold is set to appear for a segment, which I believe will turn into him beating someone up, hitting a stunner, and dousing them in beer.
Oh,
Dude's been calling him out and talking shit on Texas for the past month, so
can't do that.
No.
Not with the rattlesnake.
absolutely not.
Now, how much does this cost? This is a pay-per-view event, right?
No, it's if you got the Peacock, it's on there. You can watch it.
Oh, really?
They had the WWE Network, but Peacock bought it out, so it's all on that now. So
Oh, wow. That's great.
$5 a month, and
Remind everyone of the date. What was the dates again?
April 2nd and April 3rd.
Got to make sure that everyone watches that, and we will definitely be reporting on the results. But until then, I think that wraps up this week's episode of Non-Apologetic News. In case you do not know, I am Travesty. Next to me is Body Bag. Yes, that is his real face. No, we will not take any more questions. We will be right back next Wednesday. See y'all then, and have a good night, everybody.